Sarah, I hurt myself today trying to make the pain go away. Sarah, I want to fade away, be with the stars in outer space. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's my leave for the melancholy. Could he fill a hole inside me? Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Xannies till I numb my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Sarah, Sarah, why you leaving me? Don't you know you can't leave me now? Sarah, I lost myself today trying to find ways to make you stay. Sarah, I want to go away, close my eyes, never wake up again. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's my leave for the melancholy. Could he fill a hole inside me? Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Xannies till I numb my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Sarah,
born like a fire in the eye of a hurricane. Always told, stay in line, be alright, better play it safe. I walk a different path, nothing can hold me back. I've passed the point of no return. Something is calling me, it's in the air that I breathe. Bring me back to life again. Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive.
Fly so high they can't touch us. So top notch, none above us. We done came so far, now we up now. Had a vision, stuck to it, never back down. Never had much, now we own the whole thing. Spread it all around the world, watch it all change. Came alive, now they all see the greatness. Light shine so hard they can't take it.
Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive. point of no return. Something is calling me. It's in the air that I breathe. Bring me back to life again. Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive.
Sitting on a bench, waiting for the time to pass, dreaming of what happens next. I see what I wanna be, questioning my destiny, only knowing what I see. I don't even realize I've already made a path, and I can change it anytime. I can't take it back. I know what I want, but it seems so damn far away. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said then you better use it. Tell yourself day after day it's time to prove it. No days off, keep the hustle moving. Wanna see you be what you wanted to be, prove it. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh.
never let you double cross them. Moving through the city like it's Gotham. They told me get one, so I got one. Stop saying you're a boss when you're not one. You ain't sacrifice twice now, you ain't lost none. All over the gram like you got a bag. You ain't big dog, we ain't hear none of that. I'm in the gym looking like a running back. How you know the flow, got him coming back. Who I was in the past, I'm unattached. Only focus in this moment is bringing the summer back. Oh, respect my grind, elevate souls and I spread good vibes. Young divine, you know I gotta shine. Raise your hands for a good time. Aight.
Vibe until the morning, sleep until the noon. You said that you want it, so I got it for you. Let's all get together and show them how we move, we move, we move.
3, 2,
Bringing summer
1,
to
drop.
you.
Oh, ready, let's go. 'Cause you know how we roll. Let's take it round the world and back again. Ready, let's go. 'Cause you know like I know. We'll take it round and round. Yo, hold up, let me switch my flow up. Back in high school, they were telling me I'll blow up. Doing talent shows and man, everyone would show up. Got in an accident and still made it for them to go nuts. You know what? I'm so what? I'm so That means I can't describe the way I vibe, the way I slide. And with the rhymes that make the dimes, I'll close their eyes and fantasize. Young divine calling their phone number. No, you know I love you. And you know me, I can't sleep without blazing beats on stages for their ones gracefully. And I got a smile that they hate to see. Young black successful, though life gets stressful. Though life gets stressful, go and vibe out with whoever you next to.
Vibe until the morning, sleep until the noon. You said that you want it, so I got it for you. Let's all get together and show them how we move, we move, we move.
3, 2,
Bringing summer
1,
to
drop.
you.
Oh, ready, let's go. 'Cause you know how we roll. Let's take it round the world and back again. Ready, let's go. 'Cause you know like I know. We'll take it round and round again.
Running round so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances.
And we ain't sleeping on the floor again. We never sleeping on the floor again. For the ones who didn't make it out, for the ones that didn't see the life, for the ones that never cared, never gave a thought, found no happiness in that brand new car or the house you bought. I see you talking about the love you lost, and it was gone like way before you ever thought it was. Yeah, I took my time, no quick ones, quick run, quick gas to get back there. Hot roads, I didn't think I'd come back fast, 'cause
I was running round so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances.
It's easy, it's hard to preach, 'cause I've been burning trees and watching fall. If we cannot breathe out, we go forward. Sure, I was searching for cure, fishing a little wildlife. And when I'm low on fuel, I'll still be running till my back broke. Halfway, lost hope and I'll check it. Hard roads, I didn't think I'd come back fast, 'cause
I was running round so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances.
all my chances. Fucked up all my chances.
I was running, I know.
I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call the shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Savage, you've been distracted, your best my average, there's a reason for that's a fact. So they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan, I ain't need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Heard that, wonder when I'm gonna peak at. And that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Embrace your destiny, slay your enemy, raise a legacy. No more apologies, trust your abilities, gather the energies. Pull yourself back together, been staying off track forever. Child of the nation, will seek redemption, time for salvation. Today is meant to be day of victory, time for history. Reverse the tendency, fight the entropy, channel your rivalry. You're praying for fortune to come, you're hearing the sound of the drums. It's too late to backtrack, go back your back now. Keep your feet on the ground and stand up. You've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, out, out. Stand up, up. You've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Give all you got and show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, up. You've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Give all you got and show them how to make a miracle. Go save your team, be a hero. Take home the cup, be a star. They waiting for you, take aim, shoot your arrow. It's your time to shine, show them who you are. Stronger, gotta go faster, gotta get better, gotta work harder. It's fight or flight now, get up now. Go with the move, go for the goal, lead up the stadium, you know
got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Stand up, got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Gaming Malta, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, CS Money, MSI, Air Force, GG Bet, and ESEA.
These are those moments I don't think anybody else is going to forget.
Alright everyone, welcome back to ESL Pro League Season 11, and we do have a very exciting matchup coming your way, rather. It's going to be Mouz Sports versus Astralis, and this is a very important matchup as well.
Oh, it absolutely is, Dean. I mean, when you're looking at how these, how the brackets are set up right now, essentially, if Mouz Sports do not win this series, they're in jeopardy of being knocked out of the top three right at the end of the line. Navi are playing Fnatic right now to try and secure their spot in top three, and if they succeed and Mouz lose, that'll be the end for Mouz. So a really important series here.
Yeah, definitely, and we are just about ready to go in, so we do have to send it over to the casters, of course, being Mitch and Dean. All right, thank you guys. Great breakdown from Mitch and Dean over on the fake desk as always. But we are into the pistol round now. We do have Inferno, of course, coming up first between these two teams. And already we did actually miss a kill. Unfortunate, the apologies, of course, it took us a little bit too long to get in. But that puts Astralis in a little bit of an awkward spot here, looking to just try and finish it towards B, where already there is a three-man stack in. Rops, I believe, looking to try and get flashed through that smoke as well. Unfortunately, not quite going in time initially, but manages to catch two and drops the bomb now out in the open, and Frozen still towards that back of the bomb site is able to put up a little bit more defense.
And Glaive has to find the clutch now in the 1v3. He's managed to get himself a P250 at the start of the round and still has the flash on his utility belt. Problem, he hasn't got any Kevlar to work with. And up against these three players, that could be quite a task on his hands. He slowed down through Banana and eventually goes up towards the B bomb site. He's made the task a little bit easier for himself with Chris J rotating to A. But the cross is being watched here from Mouz Sports, and they're not even trying to take the fights necessarily. They just want to spot Glaive if he does come towards B, and now they can just hide away, wait for him to tap that bomb, and swing on out and take him down. He's made it to the bomb site at least, but he might think that's the only player in towards CT, and that's where the jeopardy starts. Rops slowly coming around on the coffins. No, they thought it was maybe going to be a fake, but Glaive has balls of steel. He plants it straight away, now looking for the ace.
Ooh, yeah, nice timing there from Rops. The second his teammate takes contact in the CT, just peeking in from coffins, able to get that trade at least, played pretty well. In the end, though, the fact that Glaive was able to get that bomb down, also getting himself 3 kills overall, a little bit of a boost to the economy. The question is, do they want to go in for the buy here? I mean, they could come out with the Galils and such if they wanted to. They can also just take the eco, but immediately Glaive, he does go in for the AK. The question is now, what else did they buy up? They could have just gone for the one hero AK, but indeed, dropping over what they can. Xyp9x is able to get one, has the Kevlar for himself as well. Magisk and then Glaive are the other men working with rifles, only really leaving Dupree and then Device, I believe, as well, being limited. They only have the Deagle. So, I mean, not the perfect buy for Astralis, but the main weakness is just being those two players. They also have a decent amount of utility onto both Xyp9x and Magisk. So, I mean, this round could definitely be dangerous when you look at the weaponry that both teams have available. A little bit of a, I guess a little bit of a stack over towards short on the A side of the map, so if Astralis were to, for example, attack around mid, if they were to put the smoke down towards short, they'd have a really good opportunity to try and take that long control, because right now I believe both of those players just playing underneath quad, not really having anyone boosted up the spot over. But for now anyway, Astralis not really getting too aggressive, waiting to see if any aggression came in the beginning of this round.
Yeah, Astralis slowing it down massively. With the AKs, they need to look for ranged advantages, and they were hoping Mouz Sports would maybe go for a peek and banana, try to get aggressive there. But Mouz know what they're up against. They know that this buy is not one they want to be challenging and pushing and giving any unnecessary advantages in. Leaving it very late to use up their smoke as well on middle keeps the tees back a little bit longer. And with 50 seconds left, you can see Astralis want to move towards A with apartments control as well. Mouz slowly backing off on short, not looking to take the advanced fights anymore, and happy to run that clock down somewhat. Also, have to be a little bit worried at this point about them having pushed up long, but that is just going to be checked by Woxic in a second. It's going to be a very late push by Astralis, and this is dangerous because with 25 seconds left as they push forward, not taking anyone down off Mouz on the A-bomb site, time could be a real issue.
Yeah, as you said, no one over towards long either, so it's given Woxic the room to just move in, be on that bomb site alongside Chris J, and getting this bomb planted is going to be extremely difficult. I mean, Magisk actually finding that opening kill, okay, manages to take down Woxic as well, and just pretty much cleans up the bomb site apart from Chris J in the back. It at least gives them the room to get that bomb planted. My auto-director being quite useless right there, not going to lie to you, but they do overrun the bomb site despite Mouz Sports having been set up, despite the time being so low. It is Magisk who comes in and really is the hero in this round, leaving Frozen with really no option other than to just try and save this FAMAS over. I mean, he has $50 left in the bank, and even then, that's not the worst on his team. Karrakin has the same, Woxic has 0. So coming into this next round for Mouz Sports, only getting, of course, $1,400, it's going to be a pretty difficult spot where they are likely just going to have to go for that full force buy and still not really be afforded too much to work with.
Really great smoke usage by Astralis as they push forward, isolating the players in the bomb site from the fights, so you could see them taking essentially 2 or 3v1s in every duel that went down. There was no opportunity for Mouz to trade in the positions that they were in, and although there were, the smokes just completely took that away. And for Mouz, probably into a force buy was the only choice, considering all the players double eco. As you were saying, there was quite a lack of cash with the full investment they made in the previous round. With Astralis surviving with so many players as well, they've got full AKs alongside one M4 for device. Still a little bit of cash in the back pocket, but with Mouz force buying, this is their opportunity to hopefully stunt the growth of the Astralis economy, slow things down a little bit. It's definitely not going to be the easiest, though, considering Astralis played slow and steady. With the kind of buy Mouz Sports have, you're hoping a team is going in for map control, pushing into your pistols and getting domed off, but if Astralis go for the same kind of thing they did in the previous round, it will really limit the impact these pistols can have.
Yeah, definitely a small bit more aggression up around mid this time. Wanting to try and stop, I guess, those players from really peeking in and finding any info, or at least have the ability to punish them if they do. The smoke, though, going down. I was wondering if Astralis would actually try and continue to move through this, and it looks like they will. Frag eventually being found by Dupree. There was a player around the long corner who wasn't really able to peek in and help despite no smoke being down. Eventually will catch himself one, and I mean, overall so far, not going too bad for Mouz. They've been able to trade this into the 3-on-3. They've, for the moment at least, fended off that mid-aggression, and it does seem like Astralis now want to bring it back towards B, which is probably what Mouz Sports are waiting for. They have 2 players in position. They still have some utility as well to delay. And with 45 seconds left for Astralis, it does seem like they will just commit in here eventually.
Yeah, that time's becoming a real issue, but they're deciding to go back in towards the A-bomb site. They've got the manpower to clear this out. Had someone have went down for a flank, they do have to be conscious of second mid, but as they barrel forward, time is of the essence. They can't afford to spend too long lurking around, and luckily, Mouz Sports have been very passive this round. Rops is over towards Graveyard. He peeks out for one, but he's getting nothing at all. And with Frozen spotted on long and spammed to 19 HP, Mouz Sports may be calling time of death on this round. This retake is definitely not going to be easy to make happen.
No, again, not having any money in the next round, having a small bit here that they can carry over and have a chance to try and keep the damage on. I mean, at least getting 2 kills here with the Force Buy, so they're not letting the Astralis economy get completely out of control, like you said. They did at least have a little bit left over as well on that T side, so it's not impacting them in this next round, but it's Mouz Sports at least keeping the pressure on trying to keep that economy modest. So you don't really expect anyone from Astralis to try and hunt anyway. They likely will just exit together, try and keep these 3 rifles up. And on the other side, then, I don't think we'll really see any other sort of investment in this next round. Probably just the 3 default pistols around what they have saved over here. Unfortunately, Frozen not having a pistol he can give to anyone either, so I'm not too sure exactly what we're going to see in this next round. Chris J does have the defuse kit, though, so I wouldn't be too surprised maybe if we see them just stack up one of the bomb sites, take a little bit of a gamble here. Perhaps have the 3 players just on those default pistols, take the opening contact and see if the Deagle and the FAMAS can pick off at least a couple players then.
Yeah, the prospects are pretty grim for Mouz Sports. Stacking up towards A early on, maybe look for a bit of aggression. I'm surprised that they eased off in the previous round. I expected them to go up in apartments and try to force some fights there. And down aggressively in middle, going for peaks, but it was very individually played. Woxic taking the peak alone on short. A player, I think it was Rops, isolated on long as well. Astralis had a lot more opportunities than they necessarily could have, with Zipnix also pushing through apartments by himself. If there was a Deagle there to meet him, it would have been a pretty even fight at the end of the day in those kind of angles. And they've blitzed into the B-bomb site and taken it over with the sole holder, Carrigan, on the USP, not able to manage all too much, to nobody's surprise. As now Mouz Sports, again, just anchoring down for the saves. Woxic, Rops, they can hunt, they can try to find a kill here or there, but realistically, this is going to be a... oh, is Rops... is he DC'd? I was expecting him to start moving towards Banana.
I think he
or
has,
CT
yeah.
to try and catch a couple of Ts on the exit, but it looks like he might have some network difficulties. One of the downsides of playing online, I guess.
Having a look at the ping, yeah, just on 39 there, was higher than his teammates, just going to sit in there, and is indeed gone. So 100% now. We know we've lost Rops. Probably see a pause for a couple of moments. Hopefully not something too serious. Perhaps a big
either that or
quick crash.
He really likes holding mid.
Yeah, and he was like, all right, I've done what I need to do. I'm out. But yeah, no, we'll see the pause come in here unless he joins back in the next couple of seconds, most likely.
Attack pause through. Yeah. So
with that, I mean, still pretty early in the game for Mouz coming into this next round, of course, where they actually do get the guns. Frozen, he saved over that FAMAS now for 2 rounds, has it been? Or 3, maybe.
One of the downsides you don't get to see all too often when Pro League would be online.
You don't get to see the disconnects.
Usually people are going to be...
There's still a lot of issues usually on LAN somehow. I think I'm having a Discord issue here. Mitch, can you hear me? Okay, yeah, Mitch can't hear me. Discord is messing up for us completely. This happened earlier. I'm going to have to rejoin. Hello? Alright guys, I don't know what's going on. Discord doesn't like me apparently.
Dean? Are you there, my
friend?
Can
you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, we're having technical issues too. That was very random.
I mean,
I could still hear you.
Tech issues right now.
I could still hear you. You just couldn't hear me.
That was happening to you earlier on, though, right? As well.
Yeah.
Where you could hear me, and I can hear
we're
you.
We're now on a US server. we're not on a European server anymore. This one's working better.
I switched over. Made in the USA apparently is better. I was wondering. I was like, damn, Dean's around to the toilet. He's gone in the middle of the round. Now, this is something that I guess everybody's probably experienced at home nowadays. A lot of servers, whether it's Discord, TeamSpeak, whatever it may be, are having some issues with load that they normally wouldn't, obviously, around different times of the evening. It's what we gotta deal with. And some people I know have they might have a business line for their internet. It could be 2 or 3 connections, most with 2. And at times, both of the lines have been completely gone. I think Banks was having that earlier, where his ping was just insane.
I think at the moment, just a lot of people, of course, on the internet.
Of course, yeah. The infrastructure is not built for everybody to be online at the same time all the time. That's not really what you'd expect to have.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we still don't have Rops back yet. He is still missing for the moment. I'll actually have a look and see if the admins have given us any info or if we have any news about when we should be getting back into this one. Okay, so I do indeed see that the pause has been removed. We're, of course, just waiting on the GoTV to actually catch up now. Apologies, guys. There was a lot of technical issues there at one point. Again, I hope that doesn't happen to us again, because I wasn't aware until I realized that Mitch was talking over me at one point, and I was like, okay, I need to check what's going on, because Mitch doesn't do that. So it's like,
I was just like, you know what, Dean, I don't give a damn what you have to say. All right, I'm going to talk over you all. No, obviously it was yeah, I was wondering why you were being so quiet. It's like, Dean usually likes to talk.
They can still hear me though, obviously, because my mic's just going through OBS.
Yeah, of course.
So it was both of us just. I was like, hang on, what's happening?
That's the servers right now in Discord for us. What can you do? Maybe we should Facebook call instead, Dean. I'm sure that would be more stable.
Oh yeah, and the quality would be A1.
100%. But yeah, well, what I was saying was what you presumably responded to and I didn't hear was how I was shocked that Mouse Sports didn't go aggressive in that second round. When they had the pistols bought up around the rifle, I thought this is where we're going to see them, or the third round, excuse me. So we're going to see them pushing in, getting aggro, getting in Astralis' face and showing them who's boss. And instead they played very far back, and that allowed Astralis obviously execute it and just destroy them one at a time. Not really making use of the advantage you get with those pistols.
Yeah, no, I was a bit curious as well. That's why I said I'd presume they would have stacked up somewhere, maybe had the pistols get aggressive in the front and have the FAMAS and Deagle just peeking in behind them, because then they would have had a chance to maybe get a few kills. But yeah, we didn't really see much in that previous round. It's now, of course, Mouse do have the full buy. Not perfect. I mean, already having used quite a bit of that utility themselves, taking a small bit of damage. They were frozen, being tagged down. I believe it was while he was peeking over towards Banana, and Nade must have done it. But for the moment, still plenty of time. Astralis, of course, having a lot of utility themselves, will begin to move forward once these smokes fade away. As we've seen in those previous rounds, just using the mollies carefully, making sure no one can stay up close, and just giving themselves pretty much all the options to work with in the round. For the moment, though, not really doing too much around mid. They do have Zipix watching for any aggression, but other than that, most of their focus actually being over towards Banana.
There's a decent hold from Mousesports with still some utility left on B. In a round like this, it's probably the most you could hope for. The smoke to slow them down. With 40 seconds left, it goes down. Astralis pushing in through it. This is a brave play from Glaive. He's got the pre-fire, but not the kill. Chris J tucked in the corner. Not a chance. As Magic deletes him, that's going to be a plant. And they've even managed to take Carrigan as well. Oh, Mouse. Left now in a 2v4. This should be, again, a save, Dean. They lose the round so quickly.
They're just getting rolled over right now. I mean, we've seen a pretty convincing pistol round from them. They got that initial frag. They did end up losing one, but we've seen them playing really confident. Rops, of course, going through the smoke. Since then, though, losing that force buy, we haven't really seen them get anything going. Even when they have got a couple of kills, they've been mostly inconsequential. And right now, I don't think Woxic is even going to be allowed to save this M4, unfortunately, because there is that one player in the apartments who spotted him. There's also the Vice then coming up through mid. You can see, of course, with the money that Astralis have begun to build up, they're willing to try and actually risk a couple of these weapons, and it works out for Zipix. Able to take down Woxic, leaving Rops now just on the bomb site. I think he should survive. The bomb's now exploded, so unless the Vice just sprints straight onto the bomb site, then at least one rifle will be carried over. But it's obviously not enough for them to buy into this one. So Astralis, with this, likely going to go up 5-1. We can see maybe a few pistols and some Kevlar obviously being purchased up, as they do now have the full loss bonus going. But Astralis taking control here early on. One thing we hadn't actually got a chance to comment on yet was the map pool, of course. So coming in here, Inferno being the map choice of Astralis. We didn't have Dust 2 being the pick on Mouse Sports. And if needed, Nuke as the decider. So with the way this map pool has gone down, I think it's pretty strong for both of these teams. I think even when I asked you in the beginning, you were saying Mouse were, in theory, looking pretty good with how the map veto had gone.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Inferno's not a huge advantage for Astralis, but how it's been played out so far. Oh, let's cut that off for a second. Woxic's tucked up close. He's not going to swing. He's going to wait. The player's being baited in, you would hope, as Chris J gets taken down. Here we go. Free kill for Woxic. No! He's missed every shot. That's upsetting. And now the pistols remain over towards the B bomb site, looking for something. Carrigan's already pushed up second mid and is in search of Zipnix. It was hit a little bit by Woxic. He's just that little bit easier to kill. And obviously, Rop's just saving the M4. But Carrigan and Frozen can look out for those kills. Try to pick up a rifle on the exit.
Yeah, my auto-director is terrible right now. I don't know about yours, Mitch. So I'm probably just going to have to try and do this observing myself. And I also apologize for that. But yeah, right now, Rops again left to save. I think... Has it been every round pretty much so far that Mouse Sports have actually just been forced to save? Obviously, you can't blame them. They've had no other options. They need those weapons to be carried over. But as you said, it's showing how dominant the Astralis are, especially as they're just going into those bomb sites, pretty much taking them over cleanly and very, very efficiently, not giving any time for the rotations to come into place before they actually get that bomb down and such. So, yeah, Mouse are struggling. The buy going to come in here. They can get pretty much everything they want. They won't be lacking utility like they were in that previous gun round. So this is definitely the best buy that they're going to have so far. But if they fail to pick this one up, then they are in a lot of trouble, because Astralis will really just begin to run away with their T side at that point.
And Mauser, see, the reason they're left in a position where they have to rotate, or where they have to save so frequently, is because they can't really afford to get any rotates. They're playing super passive on bomb sites, so by the time they realize a hit's coming in, and with Astralis leaving it to 30 or 40 seconds left in every round to make those hits happen, Mauser essentially, if they lose that hold, which they're likely to in 5vx fights, then they're pretty much forced to save, because you're not going to want to go for a retake when you've got a full rotate to make happen and a 2 to 3 man disadvantage, as they've had so frequently. This should be the turning point, though. Those early rounds can be scrappy. Everyone's trying to get a grasp on their economy, but now Mouz have got the strongest buy so far, an AWP for Woxic to play with, and a good opportunity for him to maybe take a pick to mid. He plays that little bit slower, crossing over, and now pulling towards the bomb site. And again, we're lacking a lot of aggression from Mouz, but nades do go down in Banana, dealing a good bit of damage to Glaive, and the Molly almost catches him off. Although the Molly doesn't, Carrigan does, with a quick headshot.
Yeah, they decided to peek in on it. Right now, Woxic actually could have been in trouble. You can see he was focused on mid, and it's actually Dupree who was working around the boiler. I think it'd be alright for a second. You see that smoke going over there from Zipix. So they are definitely looking to try and put some pressure around mid here. I'd imagine Woxic tries to take the one shot, see if he can pick up one kill, and then just falls back because, of course, they already do have a little bit of an advantage. Don't really want to be risking giving away any kills. So with that, Astralis indeed able to take themselves this mid controller, at least kind of show the presence around that area, because it seems like they do want to back off and focus a little bit more towards B, and it looks like Carrigan is definitely tempted to peek there. As soon as that op shot goes off, I would imagine he will not do so, but 50 seconds left. Again, Mousesport's doing a good job in this one at least now, actually getting themselves the advantage despite Astralis even being able to get the map control. So it does still give Astralis quite a few options of what they want to do. As you can see, Mousesport's just in towards both of the bomb sites for the moment, not having an idea about what's happening until those smokes actually do begin to go down.
Moving forward, Mouz with 20 seconds left, they could again make the clock into a bit of a problem for Astralis, who still haven't made it out of the bomb site. They start to move forward. Utilities limited at this point. Flash over. They spotted a player, but Rop still gets himself a double. That is devastating. Now on the bomb site, 2 players holding down. It's very unlikely anything gets done. Device good for a kill, though. Holding up close. Walks into the AWP. Gets one. Dropped afterwards. There's no time for Dupree. He has to get the kills, and he can't afford to do it. The players are too far away, and an AWP out in the open. He'll pick it up right at the last minute. But Astralis, like we said, leaving the clock down to 30 or 40 seconds, it can work for you when you're up against the pistols, up against the limited utility, but when they've got those smokes, those flashes to keep you back once you start trying to move forward, they force those early fights. That's a much better face for Mouz, and one that you're not going to get away with such slow rounds against.
Yeah, I mean, even with some of the kills actually going in there, I was a little bit worried once Device was able to pick up that double, but Woxic coming through with that one, just wasting that couple of extra seconds, ended up coming in massively clutch. But look at this, Mouz just straight down Banana. For some reason, the auto director again has brought me away from it. We do eventually actually see a couple trades just coming in, so for the moment, it seems like both teams kind of just willing to give up that Banana control. A smoke down towards the bottom. I'm not sure if around Car was smoked off or not, but either way, Mousesport's happy enough to have gone for the 1-for-1 trade. Surprisingly, not trying to keep the control at all. I guess expecting that Astralis will want to try and fight right back in for it once that smoke actually does go away. And as we can see, that is the case.
Mouz suspecting this to be a hit in towards the bomb side, have rotated heavily, leaving Woxic in a very passive position with the AWP. He's not peeking down Banana, nor is he even in the CT angle, but playing on the steps of sight. This is very dangerous. Getting one kill will be, well, hopefully possible, but afterwards, fading back to the bomb site gives him a very limited space of reaction, and luckily Carrigan is on his way back through CT to be a fairly quick bit of assistance, but he's got no util. If they smoke off CT, as they will, he can't flash through it for Woxic to get him out safely, and this could be a very, very risky round. I'm curious to see what Woxic can make happen from this point, as Astralis look to push again with 25 left.
Yeah, I mean, it just gets flashed off, is forced to drop the smoke, but as you said, again, the time being extremely low here for Astralis, so they do need to find these openings quickly, and I mean, one lurker being taken down on the A side of the map. Fortunately, Device does get that opening, and Glaive, he's able to catch Carrigan, who was getting a little bit pushy there through the smoke. Trying to use that one, I guess that was down to the left a little bit further, covering off Banana. But Astralis were not going to fall for that, expecting it, leaving, again, just a save really being the only option for the remaining players. Chris J and Rops instantly backing off, and it will at least give them 2 rifles. Alongside Chris J having a pretty decent amount of money, they will get 2,900 going into this next round with the loss bonus, so maybe we could see a buy being scraped together. Chris J could actually drop 2 rifles over. So we'll see what they will do with it. I wouldn't be too surprised with the score that we're at, but they also could just consider that one more eco and, of course, into the round afterwards, make sure they can get the ops out and such.
Such good usage of the flashes of the smokes as they moved on forward. The Mouz having limited utility, you saw how that bit them in the ass there. And for Astralis, they took advantage of even the Molotov that went down up close. It forced Woxic out into the open. He stepped left even further into the molly, gets himself flashed as well as they come around the corner. And I mean, he was just dead from the get-go. Carrigan's decision to push the smoke was definitely a risky one, but this time not paying off. And with Astralis up on 6, they are looking set to continue on that kind of course. I mean, Mouz, they're down on their last dollar, their last dime, with an SMG making an appearance again, limited utility coming into the round, and they're going to try and compensate with an aggressive push from Rops. He's already up in the apartments. Bananas being poked at as well by Mouz Sports. This is a very risky play, but they managed to find an opening there for Frozen as Rops falls and loses apartments. Zipnik's with a double. Oh no, that leaves a solo B player to be Woxic yet again. He's always the last man on the sites, it seems. And under pressure, catches one.
Yeah, that was a great flick right there. He's still in trouble on the bomb site, especially as the molly goes down, but does come up heroic there to be able to get himself that one more kill, leaving it now just unfrozen. So the bomb does get planted, but he's already up close. Glaive not initially realizing that. Will get caught, but Magisk doesn't care. Swinging around, knowing there's low health on that final player, and he will be able to get the headshot. That was very ballsy right there by Magisk. After the damage was done, he just committed to it, threw the flash in, and it was a little bit unfortunate. Nice attempt by Frozen. If he was able to get the kill on the first shoulder peek there around the box, he probably would have been able to push in a little bit cleaner, having not taken damage. But yeah, right now, Mouz Sports, they're struggling. As we said, this, of course, isn't their map choice. They'll be going on to Dust 2 next, where I would imagine they'll feel a lot more comfortable. But we were still expecting a close matchup here on Inferno between these two. And we did also mention how important this matchup is for Mouz Sports. If they win this, they confirm their top 3 placement. If they lose it, they do, I believe, have to rely on Navi beating Fnatic.
No, they'll have to rely on Fnatic beating Navi. Fnatic number 1 at the moment. And with Navi in third, if Navi win, they'll overtake them, and on head-to-heads, they'll be that little bit better. Obviously, when you look at the scores.
This is why we have Mitch.
There we go. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, if Mouz lose this, then their position in ESL Pro League moving forward will be determined by the match of Navi Fnatic, and they do not want that. You don't want to take a risk. Well, you know, if we lose, hopefully that team loses. No, you don't want to be doing that. You want to come in and make sure that you're walking away with the victory. Also, for Astralis, for them to make it, they have to win this one, and Navi have to lose to Fnatic, I believe. So it's a really, like, we're in this very spicy part of the tournament where this match matters more than anything for both of these teams. And with Astralis having 7 rounds on the board already, they're putting a lot of pressure on Mouz Sports. I mean, their foot is definitely on Mouz's back. They're pushing into pistols, 3 on the bomb site now. This could be pretty dangerous for Astralis, but again, they're using their utility, they're focusing the pit player. Robs picks up 1, but then he's down. Trades are perfect, and this should be clean enough by Astralis.
Yeah, I believe Woxic has already been spotted as well above the smoke there, so indeed being cleared out. Carrigan flanking through, able to actually catch 1, but wasn't able to follow it up again. Unfortunately, Device actually just waiting in that long smoke comes through and trades it out, so it is going to be now 8-2, around there where we, of course, didn't expect a lot from Mouz Sports. They didn't have the greatest of investments, but now they're coming out with the op on Woxic. They have the full buy on everyone. And really, to manage to actually pull this half back into anything they can feel comfortable with, they do need at least 6 rounds. Ideally, they do want 7 at the halftime. At that point, then, especially if they can pick up the pistol, they're right back in the game, and it can be a very competitive one. But I don't really think they can be dropping too many more rounds here. Otherwise, it's just going to be so difficult for them to make the comeback happen. Again, I do expect a lot more from them on Dust 2. But right now, Woxic actually just taking that peek towards Banana, finds the opening. The Vice goes down. That's a big name to claim early on.
Yeah, Mouz Sports, the early duels, that was the problem towards those first 6 or 7 rounds. Now starting to answer with aggression across the map, but again and again, Astralis managed the trades. Chris J's tucked up close. He's hiding. Woxic gets 1 with the AWP, and now it's Chris's time to pounce. He sees them on the bomb site. He's waiting to catch them, and there we go. Trigger Discipline gets him a reward, but Glaive now knows where he is. The molly down to try and block it off. And a 2v4 for Astralis trying to get out. They have the info on where Chris is, and that's about it. They've decided that the rotates will have come in towards the A bomb site, and if they're going to do it, it's towards B. But already Mouz are splitting back to have a 2-2 hold with Carrigan on his way to B. And so they will be lacking opportunities, but on the upside, they've got 2 smokes still to play with, so they can definitely get CT smoked off. But that might not matter either, because Mouz are actually playing bomb site. They're ready for this.
Yeah, ideally this is what you need right now. You don't want to have one player in the spawn just getting cut off and allowing them then to force the 2-on-1 on site. And Molly is well in play here that will be thrown over in towards second oranges, I believe. Right now Frozen playing up closer though towards oranges, finding that initial frag. Decides to swing out, which is, I guess, because of that Molotov being just behind them, kind of forced to do so. So leaving it now into the 3-on-1. A strong hold towards that B bomb site. It's going to be pretty much impossible at this point for Magisk to actually get that bomb down. Again, unfortunately, we're taken away towards the bottom of Banana, but Carrigan, he does come in and get himself that kill. So 3 players managing to survive. A relatively clean round there for Mouz. That's how you want to start getting back into this. Of course, some drops going to have to come in with both Frozen and Rops being short on money, not able to buy for themselves. Oh, I need to filter that chat off in a moment. But we do actually have a tactical timeout, the first one, and it's coming in from Astralis. We didn't have one from Mouz, no. I don't remember when we had, of course, the technical pauses, but I'm not recalling the tactical one so far, apart from Astralis using this, despite being up 8-3. You like it. They're like, okay, we've dropped 1 round here. In theory, if they do get some momentum going, they could still pull it back to 7 rounds and a half. Let's have a pause, see what we want to do, and try and immediately shut them down before they can get any momentum going.
And it's an absolute joy working with an auto director so well structured. I guess we could do 7 jobs ourselves. That's pretty much the only opportunity we have. I don't get it. I mean, surely it's an easy system to program, you know?
This guy's auto director is so hit or miss. Some games, yeah, fine. This one, it's swapping away from people as they're getting kills, and I'm like, no, don't do that.
I think it's the problem. I can't tell if they're going to hit or miss.
Oh, shoot. Look at Long already, though. Glaive, yeah, Glaive has just sprinted up Long, has one teammate behind them. They know he's there, they saw the shoulder, so a Molotov going in leaves them with no options other than to, of course, take that fight right there. And with this now, they're just going to try and split in on B. Fortunately for Mouz, they realize this, so they are taking that banana control to at least restrict the split. And unfortunately for Astralis, they do need to get these kills because that bomb is towards the bottom of Banana. One quickly being found by Glaive. Frozen, if he does go through the smoke, he's in trouble. Yeah, no, Frozen's just screwed at this point. He's going to need to come up massive.
Flash up in the air. He was hoping they'd be around the corner. Can't get a frag. And now the 2 versus 4, what will be a retake as well. Not looking too likely that they're even going to go for this. With the AWP, you don't want to be risking such heavy utility to go in for a pretty low chance of success. And I mean, this feels like it's just a save simulator for Mouz. We have retake servers. Now we're on a save server. That's what Mouz are playing. And they've been fairly successful so far, but I mean, I would not like to be in their position. I'm not envious of them. 3-9 down at the end of this.
Yeah, I don't think many people would be too envious of this current position for Mouz. It is definitely becoming a little bit difficult. Woxic does manage to actually pick up one there, hunting through the apartments. One more player trying to follow it up. Xipix, he could walk into the exact same angle and suffer the same fate, although as I say, that Woxic is moving a little bit more forward. He gets the shot connected, but unfortunately not enough for the kill. So the question is now, Rops, does he get that kill and retrieve the op? And indeed he will manage to do so. So in the end, the main weapon at least being saved over. They do have a pretty terrible economy once again. I mean, once that op is dropped over to Woxic, it's only Chris J who actually isn't able to buy up a rifle or something along those lines. So I wouldn't be surprised there if we do see the buy, of course, coming in around the AWP. Again, some limitations definitely there. They actually go for the second up. I was going to say they could consider it. I wasn't sure if they'd want to, just because, again, it leaves them with less utility, but they've decided to go for it, and really the rounds where they have found the most success is when they've been able to find these early picks, so it does make sense.
I think we're gonna swap relays at halftime, Dean.
The other one might be better, hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed we get a slightly better result over there. As I see A beautiful hold of Graveyard coming through. Carrigan's died over towards the B bomb site. Fast rotates from Woxic, who's got the AWP to play around, but with 2 smokes left, it's unlikely that he manages to get an angle. Trying to get his way over to Coffins. The flash does slow them down a little bit, but here comes the utility through from Astralis. They're about to blitz forward. Woxic gonna go through that molly and try to jump around to help his teammate out. Frozen still not spotted towards the back of the bomb site. Magisk and a Molotov has to go forward. He's not spotted by Woxic and taken down. Oh, this is a disaster. Frozen falls too. Magisk with a huge play. And just Rops remains to try and make something of this round. I mean, I don't... Mouse Sports are just getting rolled on. Like, this is insane from Astralis.
Yeah, this is... It's completely out of control. Rops right now is sticking around. I'm not too sure what the goal of this one is. I guess they're hoping maybe if one player tried to hunt them through the smoke, he could get the kill, perhaps even move in then for the 1-on-2. But that is not going to happen. Xyp9x has already gone over towards A, so this may have been the correct decision by him to just stick around in the spawn instead and try and save that weapon over. But again, I mean, despite having the full loss bonus, it's not going to be enough for everyone to buy into this round. This time, not being able to save an op over either means that it is 3 players who can't really afford to buy. They could drop 1 rifle, sure. Woxic could also buy a rifle for himself, but it's not really enough for the full buy. So the question is, what do they consider right now? Because they can take kind of a half investment here, maybe try and get that final round down at a half. But obviously at that point, fighting for 4 to 11, 4 rounds in your CT side is really not a good result. Again, we do have a tactical pause coming in. The second one now being used by Mouz. And indeed, just the half investment. Spending what they can. Pistols, Kevlar, few nades as well. I like that. Frozen actually pulls out a molly, a smoke and a nade then on Carrigan as well. Alongside Rops, who does have a small bit. So there's a chance in this round at least for Mouse Sports to try and do something. But overall, okay, actually Chris J is going ahead and fully invested. He's bought up a Hero M4. So obviously he's not going to have a perfect buy in the next round. Everyone else will, so it won't impact them massively. And it does give them also a slightly higher chance in this round. So kind of risk-reward, I suppose.
Carrigan lobbing utility down to the bottom of B. It's not netting them too much as Frozen falls on long.
Oh. He's like, here, just take it. If you wanted it that bad. That was unfortunate.
13 HP for Rops left. Like, this is just slowly falling apart. Well, not slowly. It's very quickly falling apart for them. You can take solace in the fact that this is Astralis' map pick, but that's about the only positive there is to draw from it. Woxic's going to bait them with the pistol. He's actually going to get a kill. Hold on now, Rops. He's finding one from behind. This is insane. They're pulling it back. Rival retrieved by Woxic. With Rops being low HP, Pit's the perfect position for him to play. Woxic can't cover the drop down anymore, though. That's a little bit of an issue. As the smokes go down, they drop, but Rops still wins that fight. And as Dupree falls, Astralis are left wondering how this went so wrong so quickly. The swing for Rops isn't good, and as Woxic dies through the smoke, that's going to be it. 11-3. So close to pulling that one back, though, with just the pistols and 1 rifle.
Oops. Thank you, chat. I forgot to remove the timeout thing. No, that was ridiculous. Honestly, I thought Rops was screwed once he was caught in the pit as well. He was like 5 health, of course, the entire time. I figured he wouldn't really be able to do too much, but somehow got that kill on the player dropping out a balcony, and then they made it a much closer round than it really should have been. But obviously, being recovered in the end, 2 pretty easy kills being found. Obviously, Rops had been tagged down by a teammate, so that made it a little bit harder. But yeah, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter in the long run. That's the issue. They just need to get this 4th round now. They need to make sure that they give themselves some sort of room to work with on the second half. Especially if they were to lose the pistol round in this current position, they would be pretty much screwed. Right now over towards Banana, they actually are pushing in, and Magisk able to get that first frag. Again, unfortunately we did miss it. We do see now Frozen being forced to just retreat back, and I believe Astralis trying to just immediately commit in towards B with this. Chris J somehow manages to get one. The spy having actually jumped, I believe, by mistake.
It was a bit of a mouse wheel. They know Frozen was playing the B bomb side as well. Had info to play with. Oh, look at the flank coming through over towards the A bomb side. Dupree, he's got an angle, but he can't see Woxic just now. So Woxic might actually drop the bomb here with the AWP in his hands. He's looking at the right angle. The flank's not there just yet. Oh, but he gave it away, and he's about to be shot in the back. Dupree picks him up, and Frozen's left to try and recover it as a bomb plant will inevitably go down on the A bomb side. There's no such thing as a save here. The Krieg recovered. Small opportunity, but it is very small. They need it more than anything. The 4th round on the board. I mean, you can't just give Astralis a dominant T-half like this with 12 rounds on the board. It's very unlikely Mouz make it back. It's very unlikely either way, obviously. You know, it's not amazing. It's not like that's suddenly going to turn the game around for them, but it does give them a little bit more wiggle room in the next half to not be shut out from probably just losing a pistol.
Yeah, Frozen likely going to drop here to the opto as he steps around long corner, and indeed that does give us a 12-3 scoreline for Astralis. Now, heading on to the second half here of their map choice. Again, this is their map choice. We had a look at it though. We were thinking, okay, Mouz can definitely make this a close one. Dust 2, we know, definitely will be a more competitive game than what we've seen here, or at least I hope so. I know Mouz definitely will be able to show us a bit more. But as always, guys, at the halftime, we do just have a couple minutes break. I think, are we going to swap relay while we're at this halftime here?
Yeah,
I'll throw it over to the break screen just for a moment, guys. So do stick with us. We're hoping that the other relay, the other GoTV that we've been supplied will actually have a working auto director.
And when I'm low on fuel, I'll still be running till my back broke. Halfway, lost hope and I'll check it. Hard roads, I didn't think I'd come back fast. 'Cause I was running roads so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I ended up zero. This is such a ghostly revelation. I may have fucked up all my chances. Been around the globe, looked around, nothing fitted, seen high and lows.
Alright, boys, unfortunately we weren't able to get onto the other GoTV for the moment. We're waiting to see if maybe the admins can do something about that. But for now, we will be continuing on with this one. So I will, I'll continue doing some observing for us at least. But the second pistol round obviously is going to be so important. I mean, it goes without saying, 3-12. If Mouz Sports don't pick this up, then they're probably just going to be looking forward to Dust 2 to see if they can bring this one back. Right now, though, Mouz Sports grouping up towards Banana. It looked like that nade, or rather the smoke, was going to be tossed down. Oh, the nade indeed it was, yeah, that was going to be tossed down. If they had of, it probably would have done quite a bit of damage, but instead just waiting to take that contact. They don't clear out sandbags. Okay, Glaive's able to get himself one. Unfortunately, that may not be enough, because if Mouz Sports were to commit the B right now, it would be just Xyp9x left alone. Fortunately, with the smoke going down, and with Mouz Sports obviously unaware of if it could be a little bit of a stack, they do slow it down for a moment. So now there is a second player to help out. Xyp9x going to be able to get that first frag, will eventually go down. And in towards the spawn now. Dupree, he's actually just wrapped around towards construction. So, I mean, good job from Astralis so far. At least been able to trade this out, keep themselves now in a decent spot for the retake. But Mouz Sports, they need to win out this after plant. It is crucial.
I see Device here over towards Banana. Takes a fight to Carrigan and deletes him. Mouz Sports struggling, but Woxic takes one, immediately traded on. Astralis moving into the last player. Rob suspected to be in the back of the bomb site, spotted now, and a quick headshot later. It's a defuse coming through. Magisk has managed to win that one out. The final shot leaving him on 2 HP as well, and they've got the defuse just about. Dean, I have good news. Apparently they've fixed the other GoTV.
Okay.
Find a moment to jump over.
I don't know if we will. We might just have to wait for the next map. This one might be over relatively soon, to be fair. I mean, the bomb went down, so with that we can see a little bit of a force buy here from Mouz, and that's what they're going to go for. So it is giving them at least one rifle. Carrigan, I think, could drop an AK as well if he wants to go for it. Willie is the question. I think she buys up a scout in the end. That's a very interesting choice, because, I mean, a lot of the time you don't even want an op on the T side of Inferno, let alone a scout. But, I mean, obviously knowing also that up against Astralis, they're up against Astralis who won't have the greatest devices. They need a second round and a half, so they do have a few SMGs. So perhaps he can pick some people off, but it's mainly those Kriegs, of course, that we will be looking towards. For now, though, most of the players are around ramp. A couple of them working around second mid. I was going to say it looks like they do want that banana control, but I think they've decided elsewise now, actually, as they do begin to look for the control around mid brackets, potentially. And there is a 4-man A-stack in place from Astralis.
They have made the perfect read on this as Mouz Sports look to move forward. The weapons in play on the A-bomb side are mostly SMGs, but even still, combine them together with all the utility that they've still got in play, and this is a very dangerous push. 1 minute left on the clock as Mouz move forward. Utility goes over. Dupree being blinded by that temporarily, and he pulls off the angle. He'll spot it, and he sees a player holding him, knows it's a rifle he probably doesn't want to mess with, and just lobs a molly back to split the T's and make sure they can't mount a very good offensive. Peek out from long does a lot of damage. With Carrigan and Woxic losing a lot of HP. Magisk in for one in a second as well. And Astralis moving forward here. Dupree looking to catch Woxic off up close. Deagle's holding him though and takes him down. Finally a kill to be found. With Zipnik still tucked in the corner on long. And they weren't expecting that swing. Astralis 14 rounds on the board, and Mouz Sports bomb plant or not. They've not got the best of chances really at connecting this round, as it's going to be an eco from them unless they decide to force it all the way. 14-3, I mean. Yeah, I don't blame them for forcing here.
Our auto director not showing us kills there in the end, but I don't know about you, but I got like a grind shot. It was like one of the players stuck up on the planter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's giving us nice views, just not the kills. I did try and observe it at one point, but I'm not an observer, so it's not good. I said grind. That's not bad. But yeah, I mean 14-3 right now. Another force buy having to come in from Mouz, as you would expect. I mean, they could have ecoed and tried to go for 12 rounds in a row just to get an overtime, but it's not a very feasible approach, rather. So they're going to try and see if they can win in this force buy here and find some hope a little bit earlier on. But I mean, at this point, it is just kind of looking inevitable.
Yeah, absolutely. Walking into a 3-man stack on B as well doesn't help their case. Utility being thrown over. Zipnix is in position to catch a couple of them off guard as they move forward. There's one kill for him. He drops the sight. Molly in hand. Gets it out. He's not dead somehow. Magic's through the smoke. What is happening? The Molly does so much damage as well. Chris J on 52. Rops to 20. And although it's a 2v2, they've very little utility. Just the 2 smokes left to play with from Mouz. They can waste a little bit of time with that. But as Astralis move forward with 2 mollies, with a frag grenade, these are very dangerous weapons to have. Plus the weapons they've got, and armor, and full health. Very unlikely Mouz do anything about it, and it's all Chris J in a 1v2. He's walking back over towards the Molotov, catches them off guard for a kill. Dupree has to move forward quickly, but with the UMP, it's the perfect weapon for the job. He catches him, and with the defuse kit, it's easily a 15th round for Astralis. That plant does give them a little bit more money, but realistically, Mouz Sports have been slapped off the face of the earth here on Inferno. One final buy, perhaps. And Magisk has had an insane game so far. 20 kills on the board. He slowed down in the last 5 or 6 rounds, but in that first half, I think he was in 15 kills by the end of it. Pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, Rops indeed having an okay performance. Again, we can't. One thing that I don't like is at halftime, I don't believe the ADR stays up on these servers either. Perhaps it does, but I'm pretty sure it does reset. But yeah, I mean, as you'd expect, everyone pretty much over on the Astralis side performing. You have Rops and Woxic. They've definitely had some rounds so far, but overall, Mouz haven't really been able to get anyone going exactly. Right now, though, I mean, pretty standard hold from Astralis, not going for as much aggression initially. It looks like now they do want a couple players to try and challenge him towards Banana, and with that, Glaive just spamming down through the smoke and the flames at a Molotov, able to get himself a quick kill in towards middle. Then we see an exchange, and unfortunately for Mouse Sports, again, it is going in favor of Astralis. Dupree coming up through short gets one, and now it's all on Chris J. 1-on-3 to try and keep them in this map, as it looks like Astralis, they will indeed have that 16-3. Again, apologies, missed that final kill. Was a bit more focused on the final player. But that was a one-sided map. I am hoping, of course, now we can swap over to that other go-to-V, so I do hope the Observant will be better in the next map. Apologies, guys. Sometimes Autodirector just decides it doesn't want to work. I remember Jeet had that problem one of the other days on his one, so unfortunately we've been the ones who've got cursed with that today. But yeah, Astralis, that was a dominant first map that I didn't expect. I mean, I did say, I was thinking, okay, yeah, Inferno probably where we do favour them going on to Dust 2 then. Mouse Sports will be looking really good. Nuke another map that I think could be really close, because Mouse Sports have been playing that a lot lately and have been results on it. So I'm still not going to count Mouse Sports out despite actually losing this open. I am hoping, of course, now we can swap over to that other go-to-V, so I do hope the Observant will be better in the next map. Apologies, guys. Sometimes Autodirector just decides it doesn't want to work. I remember Jeet had that problem one of the other days on his one, so unfortunately we've been the ones who've got cursed with that today. But yeah, Astralis, that was a dominant first map that I didn't expect. I mean, I did say, I was thinking, okay, yeah, Inferno probably where we do favour them going on to Dust 2 then. Mouse Sports will be looking really good. Nuke another map that I think could be really close, because Mouse Sports have been playing that a lot lately and have been having some really good results on it. So I'm still not going to count Mouse Sports out despite actually losing this open. Really at that point, as you said, with Waxing in that position, it's kind of like you hope you get one, you fall back, maybe get one more as they're pushing into the site, but you're not staying alive for a retake for sure. But I do expect Dust 2 to go a lot better also. As you said, kind of one thing that worked out for Astralis a lot that game, as you said, was the aggression, being able to take control of the map. That's definitely a lot harder to do on Dust 2 when you're on the CT side, be able to actually push down, take control, allow for those gambles to come in. It's not quite as easy. What's up? Can you hear me still?
Our stream seems to have went offline. I don't know if we're back right now, but it looks like someone.
I think the mainstream went down too. I think there was a spams in that.
Twitch.
Oh no, people are saying
Rip Twitch.
Stream. I don't know. It's still up on my end. I will check if the admins have said anything, but I think it's best we probably go over to a break now on our end. Again, we don't know if you guys can hear us. Still say I'm streaming live, no dropped frames or anything. So I indeed I'm going to send it over. Hopefully we do have.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances. Yeah. And we ain't sleeping on the floor again. We never sleeping on the floor again. For the ones who didn't make it out, for the ones that didn't see the life, for the ones that never cared, never gave a thought, found no happiness in that brand new car or the house you bought. I see you talking about the love you lost, and it was gone like way before you ever thought it was. Yeah, I took my time, no quick ones, quick run, quick gas to get back there. Hot roads, I didn't think I'd come back fast, cause I was running roads so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances. Fucked up all my chances. It's easy, it's hard to preach, cause I've been burning trees and watching fall. If we cannot breathe out, we go forward. Sure, I was searching for cure, fishing a little wildlife, and when I'm low on fuel, I'll still be running till my back broke. Halfway, lost hope and I checked it. Hard roads, I didn't think I'd come back fast, cause I was running roads so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Ghostly revelation. I may have fucked up all my chances. Fucked up all my chances. Been around the globe, looked around and fitted, seen high and lows, but you won't even get it. Been around the globe, think it's time to admit it's not the end, but the road, and you won't even get it. Been around the globe, looked around and fitted, seen high and lows, but you won't. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call the shots and the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, not everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Savage, you've been distracted, your best my average, there's a reason for that's a fact. So they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan, I ain't need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Every day I wonder when I'm gonna peak at, and that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, not everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I feel on top of the world right now. I call a shot to the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'm a dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting the blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Embrace your destiny, slay your enemy, raise a legacy. No more apologies, trust your abilities, gather the energies. Pull yourself back together, been staying off track forever. Child of the nation, will seek redemption, time for salvation. Today is meant to be day of victory, time for history. Reverse a tendency, fight the entropy, channel your rivalry. You're praying for fortune to come, you're hearing the sound of the drums. It's too late to backtrack, get back your back now. Keep your feet on the road and stand up. You've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, out, out. Stand up, up. You've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, up. You've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Go save your team, be a hero. Take home the cup, be a star. They're waiting for you, take aim, shoot your arrow. It's your time to shine, show them who you are. Stronger, gotta go faster, gotta get better, gotta work harder. It's fight or flight now, get up now. Go with the move, go for the goal, lead up the stadium, you know how it's done. Stand up, up, you've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, up, you've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle.
Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, out, out. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Gaming Malta, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, CS Money, MSI, Air Force, GG Bet, and ESEA.
Alright everyone, welcome back again. We do just hop in as the action has begun to go down over towards long here. Astralis were looking for that quick control. They didn't really use any utility though, I believe, on the initial push outwards, so Did end up struggling with it a small bit. For the moment, though, having Carrigan pinned down in that pit on low health, he is definitely in trouble. And despite having a couple players a little bit further back on long with that smoke down in the corner, they're not really able to do much about stopping the players from getting up close to him. So he will eventually go down. Overall, though, Mouz, I don't think they're in the worst position having this 3-on-3, but obviously Astralis having the long control, being on the T side, having the ability now to move back and really bring this anywhere they want, moving as a unit. They will be in a favourable position for sure, and it looks like they want to favour back towards B now. Most of the players moving back towards the tunnels. And it's just Chris J already dinked up actually in the back of the bomb site.
Chris isn't going to have the easiest of holds, just locking it down at the moment with a head peek angle. That's going to be his best shot. He's got the kit, so at least it'll be on B if they do lose it. That really he has to be finding 2 kills as they come through. That's not an easy task. Jump peek across. They know where he is. They're spamming away, ready to take him down. He's done 1 HP. Still hasn't found a kill. His teammates on the rotate. He's trying to delay them as much as he can, but they're already out on the bomb side, and it's now or never. He needs to land one of these shots. He can't get it done. The rotate already through from Rops, who comes in through the window. Not able to spot them, and he doesn't want to peek wide into these pistols just yet. Catches one player up behind the pillar, but not going to be able to take him down. And as the smoke fades, Woxic falls. So too does Rops. And that is going to be it for Astralis, taking the first round here on Dust 2. After such a dominant map 1, Mousesports really need to make sure Astralis don't get off to a strong start. And a 4 spy coming through already. A scout making an appearance for Carrigan. Alongside Deagles, it's a really powerful buy. Double scout setup as well.
Yeah, we've always said we like to see this buy just because the scouts, if they can tag down a couple people, make it easier for those Deagles and the CZs, and obviously vice versa. If the pistols get some damage, makes it easier for the scouts, so they can definitely combine to do a lot. Again, though, Astralis just going for this long control, this time having the favourable weapons, of course, with that rifle leading the way, and pretty much instantly Magisk able to get himself one. Again, the smoke on the corner also just makes it so difficult for anyone really to be able to try and actually trade it out. So at that point, Mousesports are just forced to actually give up this long control, concede it, and fall back towards the bomb site, where at the moment they do have both of these scouts positioned. So there's definitely a chance here maybe if a couple headshots can be connected for a little bit of a recovery. And indeed, Carrigan right now fighting that player in the pit, struggling somewhat. Just popping up and down, baiting out those shots, and in the meantime, Astralis now, I believe, looking to try and get the short control as well. If they can get that short control, obviously, it'd be very difficult for them to hold down A, being able to actually just split in towards the bomb site, so it could be massive if they do lose it, and indeed, as soon as that player who was pushed up drops, now the Carrigan, I mean, rather, just being in so much trouble on this bomb site.
And talking about him being in trouble, he gets deleted, and Rops is left alone. And Deagle pick comes through, but he's running over to B. Get on out of here. There's some rifles. Maybe he could be able to pick up. If he catches a couple of exits, they are going to try to hunt him down. I think he realizes peeking into CT would probably be the end of him. He moves around to spawn. I mean, for Rops at the moment, he's got armor. He's got a Deagle. Saving it isn't the best. But if they do hunt him down aggressively, as with an SMG they're likely to do, maybe he picks something up. Drops another set of armor from his opponents and just weakens them that little bit more. But Astralis make the right call. They push to the top mid. Device decides he's just going to hold down. If Rops used to push the spawn, maybe he gets the kill. He definitely takes the fight, but with Rops just tucked in a corner, it's not worth hunting him down and getting shot in the side of the head by a Deagle.
Yeah, I mean, carrying over to Kevlar, obviously, and the Deagle going to give him a bit to work with in this round. We will just see the full eco, as you said, not really able to afford even any pistols. We do see one Deagle actually coming out for Frozen. They get, what, 2,900 in this next round, so it won't really impact us by giving them a little bit more of a chance here, as you said, to just keep the damage on. If they can keep the economy modest for Astralis, and with that then potentially take the opening gun round, they can put themselves in a decent position early on. But for now, this round we're not really expecting too much. It does seem like a couple players want to try and get aggressive around mid-doors right now. Unfortunately, not having a flash to throw over to try and peek with. Instead, Carrigan tries to just creep out and play the contact, and he ends up getting taken down, unfortunately. So I would imagine this is going to be pretty straightforward. It does seem like Dupree wanted to try and, I guess, pressure around mid there. I wouldn't like to see them have someone push out immediately, though, just because, as we do see, it is that stack, and it would be very risky indeed, though. 2 players just walk out tunnels, and with that, they clean up B. The final player being Woxic, left at the car, having a USP. There's absolutely nothing that he can do from this position right now, unless he somehow gets a quick double dink on Dupree.
It's not a round where Astralis should be losing too much, and it's not a round where they do. In the end, Woxic goes down without too much impact really coming through. And Astralis able to get themselves a full buy with plenty of cash left in the back pocket. Dupree, the only one that needs a drop over. And I think all in all, you're going to be pretty happy if you're having this strong of an early start on your opponent's map pick with it being Dust 2. You're not worried about things getting a little too complicated later on. And look at Mouz with a double op setup coming through on Woxic and Chris J. Woxic heading over towards mid to start things off. Will he be taking a peek up behind that smoke? He spots out that no one's here. He'll just be holding the angle as the challenge goes down on long. Chris J flashed off the angle, goes all the way back up to CT. And Mouz Sports losing control of long. They've got Frozen pushed up on short, but they've lost any access in towards the pit where Astralis are going to tuck down and then spread out for map control. On their CT side, they were very passive. And I think we're seeing a lot of the same here just in this round already. They've got a little bit of action going down on short, but they're happy to allow Astralis to push out and execute later on into the round. Now, they're also pretty happy that they're making the right reads, still keeping a 3-man stack on it.
Right now, actually, I was gonna say in a good position, ends up getting mollied. So, I mean, so far, good job. Mouz Sports are definitely slowing this down. Unfortunately, taking a little bit of damage in the meantime, and eventually Carrigan trying to play around that smoke will be dropped. With that now, I would imagine that they should be able to get this bomb plant pretty much uncontested, unless Chris J tries some mad jumping stuff. And I think they may just concede this round already. I mean, you see Frozen beginning to fall back a little bit. I think also worried that someone's trying to flank him from top mid, obviously. But we also haven't seen those two B players leaving that side of the map yet. And it's understandable. They don't have a defuse kit. They have barely any utility. And importantly, with the double up setup, can be quite difficult sometimes too. But again, another round to Astralis. All 5 players looking like they will be able to survive. They could, in theory, if they wanted, go out and try and do a little bit of hunting here, see if they can maybe take some of these weapons away, but I think they're, at this point, just happy to sit in the pit and build up some money.
You can see Mouz are that little bit too scared of Astralis. Like, they're seeing early contact, heavy contact out towards long, and no reaction really comes in to get more aggressive on short or more frequently, more commonly seen to push up into B tunnels and try to get some info there. Instead, they took down in their 3-2 setups. They're not trying to be proactive. And this is because of what we've seen from Astralis again and again, playing a very slow T side. On Inferno, they were executing with 30 seconds left on the clock at most in those maybe first 5 or 6 buy rounds. And so Mouz are worried that, okay, if they take early long control, they might be sat outside B. They might still have a player mid waiting for me to peek. So they just took in and they turtle the round, but that gives Astralis all the room to execute, just like we're seeing now. Quite quickly, flashes out. Chris J picks up one. A good start for them, but they lose Robs. And with just the op in the back of the site, missing his shot, I don't think Chris J's long for this world. Stuck behind the box, going out for a peek, and shut the hell down. The flank coming through on short as well. Look at Dupree's position, Dean. This is going to be devastating when he drops down. Should be a couple of players for him to farm.
Yeah, indeed. Even goes a little bit further back just to make sure that the sound cue won't be heard. Obviously spotting that first, being patient, eventually having to tap off, but it's as the flash comes over. So the other players didn't even immediately realize where it came from, because of course they were blinded. It obstructed the sound a little bit, and Dupree is allowed to just clean up with all 3 kills. Perfect position there for Dupree on the lurk, able to flank down, and it's a 5-0 lead now for Astralis. A little bit of a closer round there, obviously. Coming through with only 3 players surviving. That's, I believe, the closest gun round we've seen. Anyway.
I mean, Dean, this really sucks for Mouz. They're on the verge of potentially going down into red. They will not be making it forward in Stage 2 of ESL Pro League if they lose this match here, more than likely. Well, Defiant would knock them down a notch, so it would only be head-to-heads with Na'Vi, so very dependent on the Fnatic Na'Vi match going on right now. This is not the way they want things to unfold, and they're losing players left, right, and center. This round's fallen apart for Mouz with a full investment, and they've seen nothing, no reward for what they got. As it's Rops and Woxic in a 2 versus 5, split up as well, not in the same positions at all. Rops over towards the B side, Woxic still holding short this whole round. And Astralis, they're just showing right now.
Yeah, I swapped the Rops there thinking he had a good position around the scaffolding. Maybe he could have caught that mid-lurker, but he got absolutely wrecked instantly. Leaving it all on Woxic. He's on short right now, so there's no way he escapes from here. I was going to say he's surrounded on all sides, so saving the op is probably not an option unless he manages to get another kill here. They'll allow him to run away. Unfortunately, he actually doesn't spot the head there of Xyp9x, so he will end up falling to the AK, and with that, it is 6-0 now for Astralis. What was this? back on the first map, we were saying Dust 2 should be much more eventful than we had back on Inferno, but so far that is just not the case. I mean, looking pretty similar, except for back on Inferno, Mouse Sports, they were able to at least win the pistol, so they had a round at this point.
I'll give you the good news, Dean. The first map of Fnatic versus Navi is over, and it was 16-13 to Fnatic. So Mouz still look like they might be okay as long as Navi don't reverse sweep it. Oh, the pistols are getting some reward. Carrigan onto Dupree. Let's see what else muster as Frozen's up close alongside Carrigan trying to take the fight. The smoke's blocking off some of the angles, and the AK is showing their superiority on the spams. Up close here, Roxic should be spotted as well, and yes, he is coming around the back of the smoke with just Rops, known to be the B player. I don't think he's going to get all too much done here. Just a deagle and a dream.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe that dream from is to steal away a weapon, because I don't think at this point he'd even be considering versus 4, unless somehow he was able to catch the player with the bomb or respawn, for example, if it was somehow out of place. But obviously that's not the case, so he is for the moment trying to see if maybe he can find someone lurking around. If he gets a rifle, perhaps he can carry it over an AK or even a Krieg potentially. Of course, we know there's not a Krieg in play. And that's something teams have been doing. I don't know if you were just going to say it there, but some teams have been kind of not buying the Krieg as much on their T side, just to avoid actually giving it over to the CTs, because it can be such a useful weapon.
No, I was going to look at... I've just done a little bit more research on how the brackets are currently set, and I missed something my first time around.
Okay.
Astralis versus Na'Vi wouldn't put the... Because of the match they had, Na'Vi won versus Astralis, which means that Na'Vi should remain in top 3. If Astralis win this, they knock Mouz down to 4th.
Oh, okay. So them losing this is 100% then them out of the
100%. Because regardless of what happens with Na'Vi, then Astralis would be above, and Mouz should be then completely destroyed. This is very, very scary. If Mouz lose this, they're completely out. And at the moment, I think they're already out of the game, checked out. It doesn't look like they turned up today. I mean, out of all the rounds we've seen so far across 2 maps, Mouz Sports have found 3. That's not good.
Yeah, and they were a map ago, so it's been a while now for sure. Again, the opening kill does go in favor of Astralis. Zipix, who's still out on long right now. I was going to say maybe it would bring us back to him. Unfortunately, it did not. Carrigan, though, able to get that return. So a 4-on-4. I think Astralis, though, still pretty happy with what they've been able to get. You can see that was kind of just to pull some players towards that side of the map, because right now the full focus is this B split. Fortunately for Mouse Sports, Chris J, he actually shuts down the one player that was moving in from tunnel. So that immediately forces Astralis to here, and it looks like they are going to try and just fall back off and actually catch that long aggression. Carrigan, once the B split I suppose was called in, tries to flank out. Glaive going to be able to catch one in the CT spawn, and suddenly the A bomb site is just completely fallen. A plant going to come in. Mouse Sports again left in a very difficult retake in the 2-on-3, and unless Chris J can do something quickly here from short, then this one's probably over.
It looks like it might be. Chris J creeping forward. He's going to be spotted from the op, and that indeed seals the fate of the round. Rops legged as he tries to get away, trying to save the rifle. Run, boy, run. They're chasing him down. Drops the rifle up. So he's got a nice fresh AWP to pick through, and he's going to go towards the doors. No, he hears steps in the tunnels. They're coming up behind him. No, but they think he's in T-spawn. He might just escape with this. The time becoming quite low.
Oh, hang on.
Open hand. They're ready, though. They're actually flashing around. He picks up one, but he's blind. And that's the end of the op. And very soon, it could be the end of the dreams for Mouz Sports. Now, on the other hand, that I said Mouz would be in a position where they wouldn't be able to make it through. It still could be affected by the Na'Vi versus Fnatic result. So we still have to hold on to our hats and glasses before we conclude where things are at. But Astralis would guarantee themselves the spot up there if they overtake Mouz. And that's really where the fear factor comes from, because then Mouz are gambling on their opponents losing what is currently a very close series. I mean, they lost the first map 16-13, so it's not like it's a safe bet.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not looking at it right now, but I'm not sure perhaps whose map pick was that first map, do we know?
Let me jump through and check. One click away. Inferno was the pick of Fnatic as well, and it was 16-13 to them.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I have actually just brought it up myself. Nuke coming up next, I think, is definitely one that Navi would be faring a lot better on there versus Fnatic, and then when it goes over to Overpass as well, another strong map for both teams. So that one definitely could still go either way. But right now, we of course do have to focus back on this matchup. It's 8-0 at the moment for Astralis. They are making the T-sided Dust 2 look very, very easy. And it is likely that they will find one more round here before they actually have to go up against a full buy from Mouz. This one's just pistols, Kevlar, and whatever few nades they could afford. I do like that they're going for some aggression. Two players pushing up on short, but Dupree, I believe, is watching for it, indeed. Able to do some damage. It is Magisk, I believe, who also will try and follow up now on this. They spot Woxic as they spam him down. He's trapped in that corner. Unlikely he lives very long now as the nade goes in.
And that's the end of Woxic's story, and Frozen as well. Robs has been spotted on B. He's just got the Deagle. Looking to work with it. But he's been split as well. And that's how that story ends. Mouz Sports looking at a 9-0, facing into it. I wouldn't even say potentially. If Carrigan finds a kill, he's probably just going to save the rifle. It's Device, but Device is out in the open. Doesn't give him a great chance to pick it up. And see already he would have had to face Sipnix as he moves back through the tunnels. A very low HP player of Dupree is actually the one that's leading the charge. As they rush on through, Blade gonna go back out in front. Makes sense. With 100 HP, he should be the one taking the fight versus the CZ. But then again, in that situation, I'm saying that from a perspective of you don't want to be having to reinvest, yada yada. Look at Astralis' money. They're past the point of reinvesting. They've got so much money.
Oh yeah, no, they're not going to have any issues. I mean, there's 6 rounds left here in the half, 5 after this one, because of course they've already invested into this round. So even if they were to begin to run out of money, somehow if they lost all of those remaining rounds, I mean, they'd still have the end with the loss bonus that comes in. So it really does have to be Mouz Sports trying to claw back 6 gun rounds in a row pretty much. And right now, unfortunately, that long control again just going straight over to Astralis. Mouz Sports, they try and challenge it around the smoke, but it just makes it so difficult for them to actually work together. As soon as they peek around, the first player drops, the second then is left just peeking the exact same angle pretty much. As Chris J is left to try and recover something around this area now, playing from the car.
WP, so perhaps a chance, but Astralis not going to be giving him one. Only goes through. I don't think it actually landed.
No, it popped right above the car.
Oh, and that's
a big mistake.
Kill immediately. Absolutely. And the rotate coming through now. I mean, if that molly hit, they'd catch him leaving. Maybe a kill on the A-bomb side, but now the round's in jeopardy because
one positive being that Rops is at the moment just playing kind of retake on B. Outside on scaffolding in a position where he could work with Chris J. Actually going to realize now as he peeks in the window that the flash come true, and unfortunately the second one does blind them up. Deals out a bit of damage at least, as Chris J is here to try and help out as well. Seeing if he can maybe catch there with the spam. Unfortunately though, I don't think they can really do too much about it anymore. Smokes go down, they've been locked out at a bomb site, they have no utility at all for the retake, do at least have one defuse kit. But when you look again that they have the double up setup, which they kind of need to bring into this next round to actually have a buy, they just need to again back away. And Astralis have so much money, they don't care. The second they realize this is a save, they're going to start trying to hunt it down, and already Zipix is actually pushed out and dropped. So at best now 2 weapons being saved, and they don't have enough to actually drop over to everyone who needs it in this next round.
it's the AWPs as well being saved forward. Luckily, they're far enough away that Astralis shouldn't be able to challenge them. And indeed, as they move towards the bomb site, it's the long-range angle. It's not really where you want to be. The ops. As time ticks away, the op firing off in the distance. They know what they want to take down. The swing around. This is dangerous now. Woxic is lit down to 23. He's holding it, but he gets the shot off in time. Deletes Glaive before the weapon can be stolen away, but that kill itself was a large percentage of the kills that Mouz Sports have found in this game. I mean, the highest fragger right now is Woxic with 4 in round number 11. This is insanity. A timeout here for the CT side, and I think it's fair enough to say that they have got to talk about in terms of their tactics and how they're approaching this. This is just insane. I mean, Mouz Sports, just a few months ago, they were the team everybody was calling as the ones to watch right now. There's not a lot to watch, I'll be honest.
No, I mean, even just looking at the more stats, you see kind of a little bit of a trend with the enemies flashed. Even you can see Astralis have definitely been using that utility well. A lot of those enemies flashed have been over towards long, as I said, putting down that smoke pretty much every time that they're working towards that area of the map, just on the corner, and then throwing loads of flashes in and just making it impossible for Mouz to challenge. And when they do, they get messed up. Oh, that was very, very unfortunate. The Vice was jumping there, ended up actually getting dinked by the auto sniper. I believe Chris J getting dinked down through the smoke as well. Right now, though, on long, there is again a couple of players from Mouz trying to challenge the corner, and as we see Carrigan fall, Frozen left with few options, does retreat back to the spawn. One of the ops already being taken down low. The Vice, despite being actually challenges mid and manages to win out against Rops as well. So already just a 5-on-3. I mean, here's a chance for Chris maybe if he can connect towards top mid, but unfortunately not going to be able to do so. Does live for the moment himself. That is one positive. So they still have the 2.
So far, they've been able to do precious little with them, and as the smokes go down on the cross, it looks like we may be seeing a repeat of that. Going for a save this late on in the game is, I mean, incredibly unlikely. Double smokes on the cross, molly for the site, they'll make it over. Chris J has to do something about this. Is a molly going for him? Oh no, Chris J, he's taken down by the bullets just before the Zipnix gets a double, and Woxic now in a 1v5, AWP in his hands and a bullet in his 11 rounds for Astralis. They are not taking their foot off the gas pedal. And Mouse Sports, I don't know what kind of form they've turned up in today, but it was not the one they needed for what is potentially their last chance to continue on in the top. Again, they're gambling on Na'Vi losing that game, and that is a very risky gamble to take.
Yeah, that molly, though, was absolutely perfect into the corner there where Chris J was playing, I believe, around Gandalf, thrown directly on top of him. It just kind of made things even worse, as Zipix, I believe, at the exact moment was also taking a little bit of a peek. Right now, though, over on B, I believe that was Glaive who just pushed straight towards the tunnels, was able to find Chris J on the platform. Rops was also nearby, but wasn't really able to do much. Instead, just had to drop his Molotov to make sure that they couldn't commit off the back of it. So again, Astralis, within just kind of moments of the round having begun, already sitting with a pretty nice advantage for themselves, a pretty firm one. It does look like Mouse Sports are considering some aggression potentially around long. I thought Carrigan maybe was going to try and go through the door. He decides against it. For now, though, that commitment indeed finally will come into B, and the nearest player being Woxic. Having that AWP, I guess the goal is to try and pick one off as they actually, the smoke's going down, make that very difficult.
Okay, Device on top mid's being spotted. That's maybe a kill to come through. The trade is at least found. And a 1v3 for Frozen retaking B. There's another kill on the board. Surely he goes for it at this. He suspects a player to be pushing middle and hopes he can catch him off guard. But no, Dupree is just tucked in and taking his time. And Frozen realizes his chances of winning this round are very low. But they won't have a buy-up in the next round. At least not a strong one. They'll be lacking any AWPs. Astralis at the moment, this is ridiculous. Magiska's been playing so well all game long. He entered into B, didn't find a duel, but Dupree was the one to trade it back. And although they're losing players, and usually this would be significant, the only thing that maybe is getting an AWP, and yeah, he'll get that.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, there we go.
He'll get that up close. I left that a little bit late. But, I mean, that's... Okay, having the op is not insignificant. It's definitely a good thing. But Astralis don't care about losing 3-4 players. They've got money for the rest of the half. They've got money for the game if they were allowed to carry it forward. They're 12-0. What is this? It's just 2. We call this the even map, the aim map, the 50-50. This is far from it.
We're getting auto snipers again. No team damage this time, I don't think, Mitch. So a bit of an improvement even for Astralis. Not too much damage, at least being done. It was only Woxic who made it across. Once they got one player over, they were like, okay, we'll just have to leave it on Woxic, hope they aren't rushing. Snipers are spamming, and that forced the issue and really give these pistols the chance up close that they would want. And right now, I believe Zipix does realize there's some players close to the doors. Definitely some shots rather being fired off. Overall, though, still no actual damage being connected for Mouse Sports. They've had a few players tagged down heavily and haven't really been able to deal anything at all out.
I think it's worth saying, you know, this is round number 13 where the auto snipers came out. Not what you see every day. Oh, the swing from Dupree. Maybe they are getting a little bit careless. The signal of the auto snipers. As they go out there for a peek on a B and realize there's an op in play, which they should have guessed would have been saved over. Damage taken by Zipnix trying to 1v1 the pistols on long as they go to push forward again into the op. No trade possible. Mouse Sports might be looking at their first round on the board. No surprise, it's the one where the autos came through. The confidence playing in a little bit, but even still, Dean, I'm not an expert on this. I can't say that I'm in Astralis' comms or as knowledgeable about them as I'm sure the players and the coach are. But I don't think they're going to be tilted at giving away a round. I think that's affordable.
Oh, Device, he'd been trying to play around tunnels for a while, eventually traded out to the rifle, and as he tried to go above the smoke, it didn't work out. Zipix, though, goes up on the exact same angle and does catch 2 kills for himself. As we can see, though, the time is so low. There's already the quick flank coming in through tunnels. The Molotov actually doesn't land on window. That could have given him the chance to maybe get that bomb planted, perhaps have an opportunity to force the 1v1 against the player at the tunnels. But I believe it just popped a little bit too high. So we do see Mouz Sports eventually getting themselves around, and they do it off the back of just pistols and then the one AWP that was saved over. So a very strong round. Good work by Woxic, who was able to pick up 2 kills, I believe it was. And Mouz, let's see if they can actually do anything now off the back of this round. As you said, Astralis obviously don't have any issues buying back in. Mouz Sports, they do have the double op setup, plenty of utility, and if they can pull it back to 3 rounds, maybe there is some hope. But can they hold down this long control? Again, they've been having trouble here time and time again, and it doesn't seem like it's going to change right now because they are just being cleaned up. They get a couple of trades, but that's it. It's left onto those 2 B players now to rotate over.
Yeah, Dupree was playing solo B again, just distracting them. Not quite lurking so much as just straight fighting them. As he gets naded down and killed, it doesn't matter. They've bought themselves the time to get onto the bomb site. Zipnix turns, and through the smoke, Rops goes down into the ground as Chris J in a 1v3 is about to be flanked out on short. Takes the fight and gets the kill. Christian is looking for it, but Zipnix, he's good for 2. It scared me there in the last round where where Zipnix was left in the 1v4 and they start peeking him like, of all the players, please don't give him the opportunities. You need a round at least on the board.
Yeah, I was a little worried. Especially with how low the time was. They didn't really need to be peeking him. They could have just waited out the extra 5 seconds and given him no option. Maybe even killed him after time. Obviously, that wouldn't even matter because they have so much money. But they didn't need to take those risks. It did work out for them, though. But not in this one. Not in that previous round, rather. Now it's 13-1 Astralis. They lost 1 round. They come straight back. And they are looking to close this half out with 14. They're like, okay, we didn't get a flawless one, but 14, it's enough. It'll do. But looking at the buy for Mouz. 2 ops. They still have the ops, at least. These have been really all that we've seen work out for them at points, I suppose. Frozen's had a couple of rounds, but of course it was Woxic there when he got a couple kills, and when the mid players were able to also trade out a few frags that really did give them that 1 round. And it's interesting that wasn't even a gun round.
What's kind of scary to me, though, is the time that we saw it work was when Astralis were playing completely loose. They Dupree just dry peeking tunnels. He died. Then they went in again, dry peeking it with 2 to try and trade frag. They thought they knew they were up against mostly pistols, and you could see they weren't stressed about the round overall. That's a fantastic pick to start this one off from Device. Another comes through as Chris J answers eventually. It's too little too late. Dupree's in, trading back. Woxic's on 15 HP, and Mouz Sports again, heads in their hands, wondering what the hell they could have done better. And luckily, after this game, they'll have a lot of notes to take. I mean, you learn the most from the times you get defeated pretty badly, and I think this is going to be the biggest learning experience of the year for Mouz Sports. I mean, they picked us too, and as much as it may seem cruel, I'm glad this happened. I hate it when teams picked us too. And this is kind of why.
But I don't think normally picking Dust 2 means they're going to get smashed 14-1 potentially at the half. Bit of hope right there as Carrigan did get himself 1, but unfortunately goes down immediately afterwards, and Woxic only able to find the 1 trade as well before he falls. So it is 14-1 indeed at the halftime here. Astralis have done what I didn't think was possible after map 1 and have made it an even more one-sided map.
This is absolutely ridiculous, Dean. I'm struggling to find the words to describe what I'm seeing. The fact that this is so one-sided to Astralis. Look, no doubt, Astralis are a strong team, but how recently Mouz Sports were held in high regard, how they started out the season, indeed. They topped their group. They were destroying the teams in it. And this is what we're left with. A total of 4 rounds in 3 halves. Absolute insanity.
Question is, can they add to it? Because we didn't see them managing to pick up the pistol there back on Inferno, and that's what gave them no opportunity at all to even try and mount a bit of a comeback on that second half. This time it's even more one-sided. Even if they do win the pistol, they're still going to have pretty much no room to make the comeback happen. It will have to be flawless if they want to win in regulation. Obviously, if they were to lose 1 round, the best they're fighting for is overtime. So it's just all around a very difficult position for Mouse to be in right now. I mean, they need a near impossible comeback at this point, and then they also need to get a map number 3 after it. So it's such a long road ahead of them. As always, guys, we do have a few minutes just at the break before we get back into the second half, and I'm sure Mouse aren't too upset with having a moment to perhaps cool off after how that one actually went.
I mean, again, though, it comes down to the issue with Mouz being when they're up against Astralis, you can see that those slow Astralis T sides have really got them worried about playing aggressive, getting up in their opponent's faces. When they see early A-long contact, they're not pushing tunnels. They're not even trying to peek down middle. They're playing a tight turtle defense. And that's exactly what Astralis want. They want Mouz Sports to play safe, not rotate, not get any information, and then just execute in on them. Their executes are really where they shine through. And you could see in that entire half, with the exception of the round where they bought auto snipers, dry peaked ops again and again, it looked like they were just trying to pug it out for that one. They focused back up, they play it again, same style, and they punish every single piece of aggression that was coming out from Mouz. Even pieces that weren't aggression. They were just trying to cross long doors to get to the site, pop a little flash over on their way. No, says Device just spamming down mid and taking out, I think it was Rops trying to flash over, and then he went in for more. It's a different game than I expected. Regardless of the outcome, I think going towards Astralis 2-0 was certainly a possibility with the Dust 2 pick, but in such a dominant fashion, I don't think many people saw this coming.
No, I really didn't. I was coming into this one, as I said, you said to me, you were thinking maybe Mouse Sports could get to 2-0 with the way the maps had gone down. I was on the same wavelength. I was like, yeah, no, I'm expecting this to be a close one with the way the maps have actually gone with the previous or recent results of both of these teams. I was expecting us to have a close one. But it is being anything but that. Fortunately, we are getting back into it now, so we will get to see if maybe Mouse Sports can begin to build up a little bit of a comeback. Obviously, though, a little bit of a comeback wouldn't be enough. They need to just make this happen. They need to get the victory here and try and take it onto a map number 3, as it is just going to be the straight up B rush. Right now, Magisk in the corner was blinded, but also a couple of the Mouse Sports players, I believe, being slowed down by the flashes as well. And eventually, Magisk, once he gets vision, just taps away at the heads. It's all onto Frozen and Chris J. And they only managed to find one kill before they do indeed get cleaned up. So 15-1. One more round is all that Astralis need, and without a bomb plant, Mouse Sports are extremely limited in this force buy.
Double scouts out yet again. It didn't have success before, but on the T side, they have a little bit more freedom to roam and look for those kills. They're up against a much stronger buy, and from the looks of things, a much stronger team. This is not the game Mouse Sports were hoping for, but for Astralis, they needed this match to take them across the line and put themselves into a position where they will be continuing forward in Pro League. They've managed to do it by the looks of things, and if they can just find this round here, they will close it out with a successful 16-1 and an insanely dominant 32-4 series. Down goes one early on, but Carrigan is traded out. And with that, Mouse Sports look to take the A-bomb site. They're pushing right into Device, who's sitting down on the bomb site, looking for them. He knows Chris J can be around CT, and he's trying to spot it, but also has to be worried about a player peeking up onto him. Mouse will late execute into short as well, so this is going to be a test for the A defenders.
Yeah, Chris J in the CT spawn is in a lot of trouble now, because they did realize that he actually got down there, so just flashing in, working together. Eventually Frozen able to pull one back if he can take this player towards the long corner, who does only have an MP9 being Zipix. It could be difficult for him to hold, but that is a nicely timed nade. Able to get himself one. Molly goes in as well to try and delay Woxic from moving forward and getting that bomb planted. So at this point, he has to just try and take this fight, and it doesn't work out. Zipix able to get himself a nice crisp burst there with the MP9 to pick up a headshot. And with that, Astralis, they take the 16-1. Not quite the 16-0. We didn't even see a single gun round actually in that map being won for Mouse Sports. The one that they did win, they just had pistols and one saved up. So it was a little bit of a shocking performance from them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when it comes to crunch time, there's one team you can rely on, and that's Astralis. As I said, this series was needed for them to keep on going in Pro League Season 11, and they have done it in extraordinary fashion. 32 rounds won, and they only gave away 4 to their opponents. I mean, that in and of itself describes how flat of a series this was for Mouse Sports. And when you consider one of those 4 rounds was even a pistol round, it just gets even worse. This was an Astralis we've not seen for a while. And man, I'm looking forward to seeing them moving forward. I'm disappointed though. I was expecting at least to see 2 close maps here.
Yeah, no, I was hoping for a close game. Obviously, it's a lot more fun to commentate. It's a lot more fun for people to watch as well. But you also do have to admire how well Astralis played. It was perfect. They were always in positions to trade off of each other. They were having fantastic reads, especially on Inferno. We seen on their CT side. Obviously, we didn't really get to see much on their CT there on Dust 2, just a couple of rounds. Just overall, they looked fantastic. As you said, Mouz just clearly not on their game today. It does happen. It is unfortunate. It can happen to anyone. But that is it from us today. Unfortunately, we do only have the one best of 3, so that's why we were hoping for a little bit more of a close one. Obviously, there is still games going on elsewhere. I would imagine the other ones aren't over, so I can have a quick look and maybe give you guys some quick updates on how those matchups are actually going. So we do have Fnatic. Obviously, they took that first map against Navi and are currently up 5-4 on map number 2. That is over on the mainstream, I believe, indeed. So remove the B if you want to go over and check out that one. And then there's also FaZe versus OG, which is actually a matchup that we covered recently enough as well. So they're playing each other again only probably a week or so later. I'll actually have a look at when the last time they played was, because we covered that one. Indeed, it was only on the 3rd, so not even a week later. And of course, on that time around, it was 16-7 on both maps for FaZe. So it can be interesting to see if OG are going to have a better performance against them. And at least for the moment, I mean, the first map being 16-13 did go to FaZe. It was certainly a closer one. The only issue is that right now they're on Mirage, which is FaZe's map pick. So there's definitely still some exciting games you guys can go over and check out. As I said, though, that is the end of it from us here on the B stream. It was myself and Mitch. We hope you did enjoy the stream. We know, of course, the Observant and such not being the greatest. Unfortunately, it is just myself and Mitch casting from our individual bedrooms at the moment with everything that's going on, and we got a little bit unlucky because Auto Director today decided it just didn't like us. We weren't friends.
No, it wasn't kind to us. It's sad when that happens, but hopefully it won't happen again. We're going to try and work on getting an Observer approved to come through for these games, give us that little bit of extra finesse and give us an ease off. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves here for what was the quickest best of 3 of the season for me and myself and Dean. That's for sure. And yeah, apologies for the issues. Twitch went down as well. Kind of sucked, but that's life. That's how things go. Hopefully next time it's a little bit cleaner.
Indeed, hopefully. As I said, guys, though, if you did enjoy the stream, make sure you hit that follow button. You can check us out by putting casters in the chat. And indeed, make sure you go ahead and follow the rest of those games to find out who else is actually going to be joining Astralis now, who should be confirmed in that top 3.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances. Yeah. And we ain't sleeping on the floor again. We never sleeping on the floor again. For the ones who didn't make it out, for the ones that didn't see the life, for the ones that never cared, never gave a thought, found no happiness in that brand new car or the house you bought. I see you talking about the love you lost, and it was gone like way before you ever thought it was. Yeah, I took my time, no quick ones, quick run, quick gas to get back there. Hot roads, I didn't think I'd come back fierce, cause I was running roads so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances. Fucked up all my chances. And we are never feeling cold again. And we are never feeling cold again. But I can't act like it's easy. It's hard to preach. Cause I've been burning trees and watching fall. If we cannot breathe out, we go forward. Sure, I was searching for cure. Fishing a little wildlife. And when I'm low on fuel, I'll still be running till my back broke. Halfway, lost hope and I checked it. Hard roads, I didn't think I'd come back fast. Cause I was running roads so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances. Fucked up all my chances. Been around the globe, looked around, nothing fitted. Seen high and lows, but you won't even get it. Been around the globe, think it's time to admit it's not the end, but the road, and you won't even get it. Been around the globe, looked around, nothing fitted. Seen high and lows, but you won't even get it. Been around the globe, think it's time to admit it's not the end, but the road. I was running roads so many nations. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call a shot to the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Savage, you've been distracted, your best my average, there's a reason for that's a fact. So they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan, I ain't need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Heard that, wonder when I'm gonna peak at. And that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of